I never imagined my life would shatter 3 days before my wedding. But the moment I stepped into our new house and heard those muffled sounds upstairs, everything changed forever. My name is Harper, and at 33 years old, I work as a forensic accountant, hunting down hidden money trails for a living. I had poured my savings into that dream home in the suburbs, believing I had finally built something solid with my fiancé Derek after 2 years together. The trail of clothes on the stairs told the story before I reached the bedroom door. His tailored suit jacket lay crumpled beside her designer dress, the one I had helped my younger sister Lila buy just weeks earlier. I pushed the door open quietly and froze at the sight of them tangled together in the bed I had paid for. Instead of screaming or crying, my training kicked in. I raised my phone, snapped a clear photo capturing both their shocked faces, and backed away without a word. Derek stumbled after me, calling my name, but I locked the front door and drove off in silence. Sitting in my car, I opened our big family group chat filled with wedding excitement and attached the picture with one simple line. The wedding is off. Derek and Lila can keep everything. The image sent to everyone, including our parents and relatives, and my phone exploded with calls almost immediately. My mom, Vivian, was the first to reach me, her voice furious through the car speakers rather than concerned. She raged about how vulgar it was to share such a thing and how I was humiliating the entire family in front of important people at the country club. I tried explaining what I had walked in on, but she twisted it back on me, accusing me of jealousy and insisting I fix the mess so the wedding could proceed. The call ended with her still shouting as I hung up in disbelief. Dad Grant followed right after, sounding every bit the commanding businessman. He reminded me about the massive non-refundable costs and influential guests attending, then suggested the craziest solution imaginable. I should sign over the venue to Lila and Derek so they could celebrate their new love instead. It would save face and keep the party going for everyone else. His casual dismissal of my pain left me numb as I ended that call too, and drove to a quiet motel to think. For years my family had treated me as the steady one who never complained while Lila received all the attention and resources. Now they expected me to hand over my future without protest. That night in the dingy room, I opened my laptop and started digging into the joint accounts. Derek and I shared for the house and wedding. What I uncovered made the betrayal cut even deeper than the affair. Derek had drained nearly $80,000 from our savings through careful small transfers that avoided red flags. The money had gone to offshore gambling sites and an expensive necklace Lila proudly wore during our tense family meeting the next day. Worse revelations followed as I traced further. A massive loan against my grandfather's trust had been taken out using a forged version of my signature, routed through my parents' network. The evidence pointed straight to Grant and Vivian working with Derek to steal $500,000. Part funded his failing business, part bought Lila's luxury lifestyle, including her new sports car. My own family had committed serious fraud against me while demanding I quietly accept their new arrangement. The shock gave way to cold determination as I reached out to my brother Lucas's husband Darius, a sharp corporate lawyer who had endured my parents' subtle cruelty for years. We met discreetly and laid out every document. Darius's eyes lit up with professional fire as he saw the ironclad case of wire fraud and identity theft. Together, we built a complete package for federal authorities, while freezing my remaining assets to protect them. The plan was set to unfold quietly until the wedding day, giving them time to celebrate their supposed victory before everything collapsed. I spent the following days pretending to go along while the trap tightened around them. Every smile I forced at family gatherings hid the growing stack of evidence that would soon destroy the world they had built on lies and theft. The weight of what I carried felt both heavy and freeing at the same time. The rehearsal dinner felt surreal as I watched my parents toast the happy couple. Grant praised Derek as the son he always wanted, while Vivian bragged about the lavish spending. I sat quietly, feeling the weight of the evidence in my pocket and the USB drive Darius had slipped me. They had no idea the walls were closing in, that federal agents were already reviewing the files we submitted. Conversations buzzed around expensive champagne and future plans while I counted down the hours until justice arrived. On the wedding day, the ballroom sparkled with stolen luxury, flowers and ice sculptures funded by my inheritance. I stood in my bridesmaid dress as Leela walked down the aisle in her expensive gown, exchanging vows with Derek under false pretenses. They signed the marriage license sealing their legal union and shared financial fate. The officiant spoke of love and trust, words that rang hollow given everything I now knew about their deceit. I kept my expression calm even as anger simmered beneath the surface. During the reception toasts, it was my turn to speak as maid of honor. I stepped to the microphone with the velvet box and drive in hand. The room quieted as I plugged in the presentation. The first image to fill the massive screen was the photo from our bedroom, blown up for everyone to see. Gasps and shattering glass filled the air as chaos erupted. Faces that had been smiling moments earlier now showed pure shock and discomfort. Before they could recover, the slides shifted to bank records, wire transfers, and gambling debts, followed by the damning audio of my mother and sister laughing about the forged loan. Investors turned on Derek in fury while my parents stood frozen. Darius handed Grant the federal summons right there. The elegant event transformed into a scene of panic as powerful guests pulled out phones and demanded answers about their own money. I approached the head table and dropped the official asset freeze and foreclosure papers in front of Leela, explaining exactly how she had married into mountains of debt and lost everything. Her perfectly made-up face crumbled as reality hit her. Derek tried to shout over the noise, but investors confronted him directly, years of false trust now shattered. Security rushed in amid the panic as I walked out with Lucas and Darius, leaving the wreckage behind. The drive away from the venue felt like the first real breath I had taken in days. A month later, I sat in my new corner office after a well-deserved promotion, my finances secured and their empire in ruins. The promotion came quickly once my firm learned about the meticulous investigation I had conducted on my own. They saw the same skills that exposed Derek and my family could protect their biggest clients from similar threats. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-soiling windows, overlooking the lake as I sipped fresh coffee and reflected on how far I had come. The quiet hum of productivity around me felt like victory in its purest form. Derek faced years in federal prison after his plea deal. He never even tried to fight the charges once agents raided his office and froze every account. The man who once charmed everyone with expensive suits and big promises broke down completely at the airport when they caught him trying to flee with a bag of cash. He spent weeks in a holding cell before agreeing to cooperate fully. Now he sits behind bars knowing he will be nearly 50 years old before he breathes free air again, owing millions in restitution he can never repay. His wealth manager license is gone forever, along with any chance of rebuilding the fake life he created. Lila lost her influencer life and worked a modest job with wages garnished. The glamorous online world she built on stolen money collapsed overnight when the scandal exploded across social media. Brands dropped her instantly, and her followers turned against her once they realized every luxury post came from fraud. She now spends long hours at a small real estate office, answering phones and filing paperwork. Every paycheck disappears straight into court-ordered payments for the victims Derek defrauded. The designer clothes and sports car are long gone, seized to help cover the damage. The golden child who always got everything now struggles with the consequences of her choices every single day. My parents were stripped of their home and social standing, living in regret while awaiting their own sentences. The bank took their beautiful North Shore mansion the very Monday after the wedding, while federal charges for identity theft and wire fraud hit them at the same time. All their elite friends vanished within days, crossing the street to avoid them and removing their names from every club and charity list. Vivian and Grant now share a small room in a roadside motel with stained carpets and thin walls. The people who once commanded respect now argue over who gets the harder pillow each night. Their expensive cars and country club lifestyle disappeared like smoke. When my mother called begging for mercy from that cheap motel, I simply blocked the number without a second thought. Her voice sounded small and broken as she cried about losing everything and pleaded for me to drop the charges because we were still family. I listened for only a few seconds before ending the call. The woman who once dismissed my pain and demanded I surrender my wedding now wanted forgiveness after stealing my inheritance. There was no anger left in me, only calm detachment. Some bridges deserve to burn completely so new, stronger paths can emerge. Looking out over the city skyline from my office, I realized true freedom comes from cutting away what drains you. For 33 years, I carried the weight of being the reliable daughter who never caused problems while everyone else took what they wanted. Blood does not obligate you to endure endless harm or forgive betrayal that runs this deep. I built my peace on truth and strong boundaries instead of forced loyalty. The experience taught me that protecting yourself is not selfish but necessary when family becomes toxic and dangerous. Real healing begins the moment you stop setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. Today I walk through life lighter and more focused than ever before. My work has new purpose and my personal accounts stay completely secure under layers of protection Darius helped establish. No one will ever again treat me as an ATM or emotional punching bag. The quiet confidence I feel each morning comes from knowing I chose myself when it mattered most. If you have ever faced similar betrayal from the people closest to you, I hope my story gives you strength to act. You deserve peace and security without constant sacrifice. Thank you so much for watching my story today. If these kinds of real-life revenge and redemption tales resonate with you, please hit that like button, subscribe for more, and check the end screen for another powerful video waiting for you. Your support means everything, and we'll see you in the next one where we explore even more stories of people who finally chose themselves after years of quiet suffering. Stay strong out there.